indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I'll ask the recorder to call the roll and start the meeting.
Barnes. Hastings.
Here.
Lynch.
Here.
Pistol.
Here.
Ward.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
In front of you have tonight's agenda. I approve a motion second. Ask for a motion and second to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Also, you have the approval, you have the minutes before you of November 14th and the monthly financials. I'll entertain a motion a second to approve those as presented.
Make a motion we approve.
Second. Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brings us down to department head reports. We'll start with Airport Commission. I have no one here. I have Susan budget included that to put in with your budget we talked about the other night. It's $49,000, and of course expenditures about that. I think there's around 30,000+ in the checking account. I didn't confirm that with her for sure. They're still moving dirt out here, going down to the far end of the runway, and that's under one of the grants. I said it's under the fence removal grant. It might be some of that under the taxiway, connecting that to the airport and making a circle up next to the fence where eventually the other hangars will go. I missed Monday's meeting. I was just telling them Joey had also called me about that, and he had missed the meeting too, so I thought he didn't even sign that. He said everything's going along pretty well, so keeping on that. That's what I have on the airport. That budget there was $49,587, and the expense that they projected was $49,220. But that's part of your overall budget that we put in the report that we talked about Tuesday night. That's all I have on the airport. Animal Control, Rita Stark is here and give us an update.
I need them. Right now we have 16 dogs, 10 cats, 1 cat plus 1 that's there because the owner's incarcerated. We had 4 cat adoptions, 2 dog adoptions. In the last 3 weeks or so, we've had about 43 calls into the shelter. I mean, the phone rings all the time. Or my cell does. We will be sending more to rescue this month. Let's see, I had 3 calls on Fraser Street, 2 calls out 16 East, of which one of the city officers helped me with. They do, if they're not busy like that, and I appreciate it a lot. Jay, you got a good crew over there.
Thank you.
We had 2 calls out, and 1 call out 16 West, which I think I solved that issue. I've had no more complaints. And 2 calls out 95 West. We were in the parade Saturday, and the big white dog that we had him back, had him dressed up like Christmas, hat, sweater, all this business. Sucker got adopted.
Hey, good job.
We need a parade every other day. Also, Paw Prints Grooming up here. Andrea and Rick, they have put up a Christmas tree with tags of pictures of our dogs. And it's kind of like an angel tree, you know, sure. But it's for the dogs. And she said people are coming in and picking them up. They're going to buy stuff, whatever. And also, Little Stack Smoke Shack is a drop-off point for donations. She has put that out there, so. Other than that, all's going okay.
I was glad you said drop-off point for donations. So I was thinking,
No, not dogs.
And I talked to Tuesday, we met on the budget, and we was talking about working out with Chad and you and everybody about how to proceed with on animal control. You know, we've allowed the budget. We want to keep going. You've done a phenomenal job. Everybody's very happy. And the very fact that we have 16 dogs and 10 cats, you're moving them. And I know that's tough. You know,
It is. It's
tough
hard.
with as much as what shows up in town. You've done a great job. But I definitely want to, you know, we have earlier, starting of the year, January and February, figure out for sure, almost home, how you want to bill us, if you'll be animal control officer, the lease or the rent of the building, et cetera, who will carry the insurance. But we definitely want to get that work. We included you on the budget just to keep going. You've done a great job, and I can't say enough good things about that. And I hope 2025 we get you officially moved over and you start giving a contract to the city, and however we're going to do that with Almost Home, and, or have you as animal control. So.
Yeah, the Almost Home and the animal control will be two separate entities, you know.
Anything for else? Good job on the parade and good job on everything.
Well, I didn't win,
Well, that happens sometimes, I'll tell you.
and I'm a sore sport.
Yeah, so a lot of good floats. I think I had my back turned to most of it. I was overeating. No, it was good parade. I don't know how many we ended up. We might have floats, but it was pretty full.
Yeah, it was
No
nice.
problem. But anyway, you're doing a good job. Thank you. Anything for Rita on animal shelter? Thank you very much.
You bet.
Brings us to Fire Department report, Chief D.L. Webb.
Since our last meeting, we had a grass fire on Jason Street, and that was over Thanksgiving holidays. I was out of town, but the guys done a great job putting that out. We did have our first battery-powered vehicle fire over at the Exxon. Luckily, it did not get bad. It was actually put out with a fire extinguisher in the back before it did get bad, but that is a problem that if something does happen major, we have nobody around here, I don't think, that wants to mess with it as far as tow service, because there's so many stipulations to it. So it's something we're going to need to think about as a fire department of what we're going to have to do on car fires, battery fired. We did have a grass fire over on 16 East just yesterday, day before yesterday. The only thing I can say there is, to the general public, if the wind is blowing 90 miles an hour, it is not a good time to burn. That would be just my suggestion, and probably a good suggestion. We had an alarm call at First Service Bank. Their alarm system kind of messed up, and I think there was some smoke from the outside, people burning leaves and stuff that got in. No big deal there. Other than that, the fire station, if you hadn't been by to look at it, it is really starting to look like a fire station now. The interior walls are up on the inside, and the back, if you'll drive around to the back wall is completely up and looking red. So, other than that, if there's any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
Get it sealed up before bad weather. Yeah, it's going good. So, appreciate it. Anything else? All right, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there is one thing I need to do. Thank you, Dina. There is we had to replace the heat and air unit in the forestry building, the building that forestry's leasing from us. I would like to request to move $3,100 from the fire truck fund to pay for that bill. Line item, I'm sorry. Fire truck line item to pay that bill.
We're gonna move it to repair and maintain building and grounds.
From the fire truck line item to maintain, $3,100. I'll entertain a motion and a second for that.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, Chief. Brings us down to Parks and Rec. Charles is out of pocket. One thing is preferred electrical service. It came up a couple of months ago. They said they might come back at the end of the year. I talked to Ron today. Donnie said, I don't need you here tonight. We're just going to pass our budget. He'll have a price list for us probably next week. I'll get that to you well before the January meeting. That's one of the things when we talked about the budget, the punch list on things we'd like to do in 2025. We'll have to decide on a big ticket item, and that's probably one of them. So we may or may not can do that. they can come back and do a presentation. He also mentioned that they'll be at Municipal League, so anybody who wants to go down Municipal League, even if you don't have to go down there and, pay to get in and go in, they said, man, they'd meet any of the council down there, anywhere in the lobby or whatever, and have a place down there at their place and give you a presentation down there. So still interested in coming in January. Sidewalk grant for TAP, I've reached out and waiting to hear back from Trey Foster. He's over that. I think we put 80,000 in that. We won't even get close to that, I don't believe. But we just left that line item the same because we've got a lot of things we want to do this year. Also, going to get him to look at the engineering for road to the auditorium. I think that'll be a lot better way. He's pretty positive. Mike can scoot that further up the hill and get out of the pretty much almost all the way out of the state right away, and that'd be nice if that works out. Other thing that I just want to mention that I'd had some calls on the primitive camping out there. We had somebody that was in the park, and we went down today and cleaned that up. It was by First Service Bank, and that's gone. And I don't think we'll do any primitive camping. I mean, we may revisit that too and look at that, but definitely pretty much keep that. No one needs to be camping out there in the middle of winter anyway, so I wouldn't anticipate even discussing that up until March, maybe April meeting. Like now, just go ahead and suspend that if that's okay with the. I don't think I need a motion in a second or.
I mean, it's the primitive camping ordinance we did years ago. It's kind of at the mayor's discretion. I think.
Okay.
So I think if that's something you can shut
Yeah,
down, you can
yeah,
shut it down.
it's shut down so until, yeah.
I'll take a look at the ordinance and make sure,
Okay.
but I think for now it's the mayor's
Okay,
call.
I'll say definitely shut down to April the 1st. Yes, Chief.
And I was going to bring that up, excuse me, in my report. Thanks for the cough drop, by the way.
I got more.
Even if we don't shut it down all year, we should at least put like some temperature restrictions on it. If it's below 35 degrees, they can't camp out there because, part of the problems we're having is these indigent people are coming in and they've got their $5 Walmart tent or their tarp, and it's 20 degrees outside. So just at least for public safety, in my opinion, if we don't shut it down like a set of months, then we need to at least put like a temperature restriction on it. If it's below freezing, they can't be out there.
Well, I'll just, as of right now, just say we're not going to have any of that till April the 1st, for sure. So I'll take care of that. And thanks for.
There's nobody there right now.
No, but I'm afraid that one of the ones that was staying down there is starting to work her way back there. So that's why I wanted to bring that up tonight, that, and at least in my report, hey, at least I'd have some teeth to be like, hey, it's too cold. We got to find you somewhere else to go.
Yeah, we don't need anybody in the park.
Is there places to go in the county?
Well, so the problem is this person has a place to go, and is probably most likely about to get court ordered there. If her supervising officer has anything to do with it. But until she gets court ordered, she just keeps walking off from her treatment place and keeps coming back here. Like, she's been picked up, taken to other places.
I'm just saying in general, somebody's driving through and not driving, walking through, and they, what is kind of ideal on that?
A lot, and not to get bogged down on the park stuff, but a lot of the times, believe it or not, like the lady we got a call about that was staying behind Bud's Appliances, my officer paid out of pocket for her hotel room that night, and another local citizen paid for the second night until we could get them on the bus.
Adding to that, I usually get a call if it's someone there, and I'm in touch with a lot of the churches, and there's almost inevitably somebody find a way, especially when it's.
Ministerial Alliance.
What's that?
Ministerial Alliance.
Yeah,
some
yeah.
things.
Ministerial Alliance and Pastor Gene, or
Yeah, so if it's somebody just stopping through waiting on a bus connection, we've got limited resources to kind of hold them up for a couple days.
Because the bus don't come every day now.
No. It depends on where they're going.
Yeah. Well, the churches are good, and like I say, a lot of individuals too, lots of them, and I appreciate that. But yeah, that's good. We took care of that till you don't have to worry about that. Anything else for?
So in closing that off, is it just across the little walking bridge? Do we need to chain that up and put closed?
No, I might get Charles, or we'll just put a sign up, closed for the winter, closed till April 1st, or or I'll put no camping, camping closed. I'll definitely do that. Anything else on park? Okay, brings us down to streets. That's also Charles Wilson. When he gets back in town, we've already talked about that on their budget. About list for you guys. It's always hey, when's the last street we pay? Lot of settling on some asphalt and a lot of erosion issues to deal with. So definitely we'll get a list of streets, what we need to do. Some of that work, a lot of that work's the city, some of it's not, but most of it is. There's plenty of places we need to fix on that. That's all I have on the streets. I didn't think, appreciate parade, the route, that went pretty well. Talk about that under something else, but Christmas parade was a success. The A&P, we didn't have any issues on that. We about got that figured out where to put the barrels, and Savannah did good. You know, a lot of people just stepped up and made it happen. So no incidents that I know of.
Fried pies was good.
What's that?
Fried pies was good.
Yeah, it was a good event. It was a great event, and man, I appreciate Jeff Burgess for his connection with Santa, and Jeff Pistol. He worked hard on it too. But it's a good connection we have there when you can get the main guy to show up. That worked. That good. Howard's, talked to him. He said, "Yeah, no problem. Overflow parking." Just went really well. Okay, that gets us back to you, I guess, Chief. Have you done your report? Or?
So this month we had 281 calls for service, and I compared what we've got so far to the end of November to compared to all last year. We're up almost 1,000 calls over the year from last year. So we're staying pretty busy year round. Hopefully it'll ease up for my guys now that we got everybody back. Other than that, we had a pretty big burglary down in Choctaw. A lot of stuff was stolen. We've got that pretty well solved. We're just waiting on warrants to come out and stuff to come back from the crime lab. Had to send a radar down to get it fixed. That's going to cost me about $1,500. Something in radar antenna went out, so we had to send it down to Stalker. I've got 2 officers out to training this week for an advanced defensive tactics instructor level course. So that's something we're going to kind of ease into next year. Do a little bit more of the on hands-on physical training. Other than that, parade went great, route went great. Thank you, Mr. Pistol, for keeping me from getting run over. Rita, I too was in the parade and I didn't win anything. Maybe because somebody at City Hall didn't tell me to bring candy.
I didn't ask.
I mean, it's a parade.
Yeah, come prepared.
Singer right there.
Chief driving his car by himself, eating candy out into people.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Because then Mr. Pistol might have got hit with a piece of candy and that lady in that small car almost would have run me over. And then it's just chaos at the Christmas parade.
You're very right.
So I was erring on the side of caution and safety.
You did great.
So next year I'll have somebody with me that we can.
Hey, you need to get a helper in the back.
Or what I can say is that I was throwing gluten-free, calorie-free, invisible candy. I was trying to be healthy for the kids. Like next year I'm going to just bring a bag of apples and oranges.
Yeah, they're popular like prunes.
There was plenty of candy, trust me.
Yeah, that was
a
my
lot,
question. Well,
yeah.
there was I mean, it was like Scare on the Square again. It was a great.
Or I think probably what I'll do, just in reflection, my wife buys candy corn for me in Halloween because I like candy corn, but she buys those atrocious pumpkins for herself and never finishes them, so they'd last for like a year. People are getting Halloween candy at Christmas.
I don't think they care what kind of candy it is. It'll work good.
Other than that, we're just trucking along. If you got any questions.
Yeah, no incidents. It went well. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate Metro Bass. They come a long way. Several boats, brought their wives, and didn't ask for a thing. Didn't even get to eat barbecue. They had to head back for it. So, but anyway, it was a very good job. Nothing else for the chief. It brings us to Water and Sewer Department report. Will Hinchy.
Chemical cost for the month was 9 cents per thousand, and that's down just a little bit from what it has been. We were at 20.8%, so basically 21% water loss for the entire system. Our 2 problem systems are still problem systems. I did promise my board and you as a city councilman that we would spend some time at Burnt Ridge and Denard, and we did, and we have not found anything. We ran valves. We've got cheater meters on those systems, and basically we found in one area in Denard out 254 we do have like 15 gallons a minute. That's what we're looking for. So when I tell you that Denard's water system is at 41%, we're looking for 15 gallon a minute leak is what it is. So I've got customers that have 15 gallon a minute leaks on us. No, we did not find it. So we know it's out 254, but we have not pinpointed it. We've ran valves through the outskirts, but we have not found it. And at Burnt Ridge, we're looking for 18 gallons a minute in that entire system. And so 18 gallon a minute leak for the whole system is making us at 57% water loss. So we're not looking for a lot of water. But we don't sell a lot of water this time of year. It's all getaway homes. So when we're not selling water and you still got some going through there, 18 gallons a minute's not much.
It's not? It seems like it'd be a lot of water to me.
It's a percentage.
So I've got, at
Me too,
Denard,
I thought it was like a massive leak.
yeah. Well, I mean, at Denard, I've got over 300 customers, and I'm selling every single bit of the water to them except for 18 gallons a minute. I mean, it's not a lot of water, considering that we've got 50-something gallons a minute going, or 60. Those pumps, when they're on there, it's 100 gallons a minute. So that's not a lot for a water system.
Well, like your service line to your house,
Mm-hmm.
if you just bust that open, how much water is going to come out in a minute?
There's a guy on 95 West that would like to argue with me, but you can have 25 or more gallons per minute go through that. Our meters can read up to the 3/4 inch meters can read up accurately 36 gallons a minute. That's a 3/4 service line wide open. It all has to do with pressure. Depends on what part of the system are. If you crack open a water hose and you've got your pressure regulator right, they're going to be somewhere in between 7 to 5 gallons a minute. Well, 7 to 10, I'm sorry. 7 to 10 gallons a minute, just on if your pressure regulator is operating. If you got it before the pressure regulator, you can get 20, 30, 40 gallons a minute through that. So
So you think it's leaking underground somewhere?
well, it's not spraying up in the air.
Looks like as dry as it's been, you see some grass or
Yeah,
something.
so I come in early one morning 2 weeks ago when we had the real heavy frost, and I told the guys, I split the guys completely in half, and I sent half of them to Burnt Ridge and half of them to Denard, because if the water's cold, if the water's warmer than the air, you get steam, fog, or something, or you'll have a patch that's thawed out from the frost, and we drove the entire system, didn't find anything.
Of course, up in there, in both areas, it could be leaking in the water line here, and it may not be coming out of the ground
Exactly.
for 100 feet.
Thermal imager.
Or longer.
And it may not be one leak. When I say 15 gallon a minute, if I can find it, we'll be at 0% water loss.
You might have 4 or 5.
Yeah, if you don't deal with water,
And
I'm gonna make the math easy on myself. So say there's 5 leaks, I could have 3 gallons a minute on all 5 of those leaks. That's not a lot.
I'm trying to say is on a normal, I hate to say, but average system, you ever get to 0?
no.
No, it's not gonna happen. The health department wants you to be in the teens. That's not a requirement. That is a suggestion.
What's the Clinton one this month?
20, 21. We're almost at 21. We were at 20 last
Just the
month.
Clinton system used to be in.
But that's not just the Clinton system. I don't just figure just the Clinton.
Right.
That's Clinton, Denard, Burnt Ridge,
Right.
all together.
I know with them, so you don't know what just Clinton is.
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, it's fine.
So as a whole,
As a whole,
21%.
on my coverage area, I'm at 21%, 20.87%.
Well, they were. You said one was 41%, one was 57%, and Clinton brought it. Clinton's, and it comes down to 21. So Clinton's ain't very much.
No,
In years past, it
but
had been.
know this:
40.
it takes 1 million gallons to bring you down a percent on Clinton's system.
Yeah, you're talking percentage, but that's
Because
deceptive
Donna
because
forgot.
the
So
volume-
today, when she printed this out, she forgot to enter the non-builds. So the non-builds are all the ones, city buildings and everything else and everything. And it dropped when we remembered to put it in there because she hadn't entered it in. It dropped it down 1%. So just know it takes a whole lot of water to bring it down 1%.
Right.
I think we can all agree that Well, you need to quit wasting water.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only other thing I've got is I presented to my board. I guess a lot of people know out there, it's all been on the news and everything else, that because we have signed an agreement, B Branch has signed an agreement, we've signed an agreement also to take in B Branch. That agreement says that we would do a no later than date of August of next year. Since then, less than a week after we signed that agreement, B Branch was out of water for 3 days, parts of the system. Of course, I was the spokesman that had to be on the news and interviewed and everything. Since then, it's happened again. There's been some, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not saying that they didn't do the best that they could, but the communication's not there. So I made a recommendation to the board that we push forward, at least on the management side of it, where I would legally, and they would vote in that I had the authority to lead that system. And my board voted yes. I have already talked to the board at B Branch. I'm going to take it before them Monday. In doing that, I would like to have it where we would pay out their employees out of their funds and everything, but I would be in charge and our crews would work together. Our response time, we've been there the last 2 days. We fixed leaks here in Clinton until after lunch. They had a mainline leak today. With their storage of the tank not being very big, school was in session. I told them that I wanted them on site to start digging at 2 o'clock. So if I had to kill that line, they had enough storage to keep school in. It worked out great. From the time that they called me and they said we're shutting the line down, it was an hour and 15 minutes before they were filling the tank again. But in that hour and 15 minutes, we went from 76 feet to 72 feet, but we kept 72 feet in the tank. We only had a short section on 65 that was out of water, and they were only out for an hour and 15 minutes.
So that was right there on top of Blue Ranch Mountain today?
Yeah. We actually, I went and checked out that leak yesterday. Since we fixed the leak over the weekend and got them back, we've still never been over 76 feet. 2 pumps running, still not reached it. Found another mainline leak on 65 today. It's actually off of 65, but it is on the 8-inch. It's in between the first tank and the first pump station. We got it marked up for in the morning. But the tanks are full. No one's out of water right now. We've kept it that way. We fixed about 3 leaks for them yesterday, just trying to get that down while they were reading meters. They're in meter reading mode right now. It takes those 2 guys right at a week to get all their meters read. And doing that, we'll probably be starting the process of bringing in all their finances and everything, handle that in the office also. So just know, if you're listening on Facebook or whatever, and you're a B Branch customer, we're going to try to make this as smooth as possible. I know I've gotten some concerns from even the city council about maybe a drop box. We will attempt, B Branch Water does own that building across from the building they're in. Even when we shut their office, we will try the drop box thing. It'll be inside. We'll have it fixed, but there are options with automatic draft, online pay. We'll try to make it as easy as possible.
Appreciate it. Monday is when you meet, and
we'll meet at 5:30.
I don't anticipate them not allowing that. I mean,
it's just the communication's not working,
right,
and then it just needs to be more restricted.
You need one, yeah.
Have we got most of the time some of our hands down there helping them?
Just about all the time.
About all the time now.
Yeah.
We did not deploy any extra this last weekend, and it's because we were told we didn't need to. Jeremy, he did the best he could. He was on fire. He was going to do it, and it just didn't work out by plan. We had one of our employees down there helping him, but we did not send out our on-call crew.
Is it somewhat training, mostly management? I mean, I hate to say management.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we're going to fix it, and I know that the news report says parts of that, but I will say you can cut out what I say and then add another sentence, and it sounds just like I said that we're going to fix it all. But I have never said that, and I have never bashed B Branch Water. You got 2 guys running a pretty good sized system and a hard system. They've tried. We're just going to try to all work together and make it better.
Yeah, you get there.
Yeah, this is not gonna be a quick fix, is it?
It is not. We had a and I'll give kudos to one of my employees. He was fixing a leak yesterday, and an older gentleman walked up to him and said, "Well, I'm glad to hear that Clinton's down here and going to be taking over. Are you guys? How long do you think it's going to take for us to see a good difference?" And he looked at that guy and said, "Give us 3 years." He said, "It's really going to take 3 years?" He said, "Sir, I think you'll see a big change, but give us 3 years." And it will. He did I don't know if he'd heard us talking about that, but all these funds and all these projects that's going to be done, we've got 3 years to complete them. So just because we're getting that money, I mean, we're going to try to cut down the leaks. We're going to try to make it better, but give us 3 years.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, when we take that completely over, once it becomes ours, what happens to the building? Is that ours or?
So the building that they have their office in, they rent that.
Oh, I thought you said they owned it.
No, they own the building, the warehouse across, and they'd actually had an office in
That's what
it.
I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
building they own.
The building across, this, that will be ours.
Okay.
It'll still be a warehouse, more than likely.
It'll be a warehouse, but there is office building, there is 2 or 3 offices in that. So,
Of theirs or what?
yeah, that used to be, they had their office staff and warehouse all there at one time. They had it all, they had a good opportunity. They're not giving a lot for that building they're using as an office.
Oh, okay.
Have we got a truck that we can give them, or we're gonna have to buy one?
We have budgeted a truck or 2, and more than likely there will be a couple bought. They don't have funds to buy one. They do have a pull truck, and then the other vehicles are ours now.
Back to the water leaks at Burnt Ridge.
Yes.
Do you have a map that shows where our water line goes
Mhm.
on that system? So if I had some free time, I could just go start looking for leaks if I wanted to?
Yes. If you got some free time, I'll show you where all the cheater. I mean, that system is actually we've done a lot of upgrades. So imagine every valve that's on a main line. When you shut that down, we have an opportunity. We have a box to the side of it. We call them a cheater meter. And basically, we've taken a 3/4 meter tap and we run it over here beside that valve and put a meter in it, and it reconnects on the other side of that valve. So when you shut that valve down and open that setter up, I can see how many gallons a minute are going through that. And we've actually, some of these auto read meters that we've taken out, that the cords have been cut, a mouse is chewed on or something like that, and it can't read to the office, we've actually taken them over there where they're reading accurately, and they're actually showing you how many gallons a minute instead of having to sit there and time it. So we replaced some of them in there and used some of those ones we couldn't put in the customers because they won't read out to the office anymore. It's designed to really show, and you'll go and you'll turn it on, and it'll be like it's showing 18. It'll be 10, 20 gallons a minute going through there, and then you leave it on for a little bit, and it zeroes out to 0, and then you go to the next one, and you just keep. Now we found some areas where, like going down in the Sills Peninsula, I've never seen it read more than 4 gallons a minute, like period. But there's down Sills Peninsula. That's the majority of the customers at B Branch is down in that area. So there's a lot of customers in there.
Burnt Ridge.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm stuck on B Branch, Burnt Ridge. Sorry.
Well, when you hook that meter up, I mean, how do you not know that the water going through it is people turning their taps on in their house?
Don't.
Okay.
You don't. Now, the last time we found a good leak was actually able to pinpoint it. I did have a guy go out at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he ran those same valves we're talking about, and
that's why.
we did. We found it. We knew it was in between here and here, and we just went to digging. It wasn't showing itself on the ground. That area is really rocky.
Yeah.
Hugh, is it McKnight's? Hugh McKnight's, the pharmacist, not Hugh. What's it?
It is Hugh.
Yeah, Hugh. It's always a leak there.
There is always a leak on that road he lives on.
Rocky.
But it's very seldom we dig up any leak out that in Burnt Ridge area that it's not, when they put it in, they dug out a trough in the rock and that pipe's laying right in the middle of it. So, and it's class 160 pipe. It's only can handle 160 psi, and I've got that pump station set at 167 all the time to keep everybody.
And in places
water.
like that, is there like some conduit you can sleeve it with, or it would help? Or
I don't know if you can sleeve that much water line with all the taps and stuff in. We do try to sleeve all of our driveway crossings and all of our road
That's what
crossings.
kills you when you make a tap, because I'm like, why wouldn't you sleeve everything?
Yeah,
Well, Sounds
we do,
good.
and if it's really rocky when we're covering it up, we will. We'll sleeve it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying when it's rocky. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did y'all find that leak down at the Rock Crusher, or did B Branch find it?
Sunday night.
On that night that it got found, actually an ex-employee from B Branch had actually worked there, and when he was checking in that morning early, he found it. He found it at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Anything else for Will?
On another note, I had somebody ask me that's new to the city, and they were asking me about how much pressure that their house should have,
So if they are in city limits, so it does depend what area they're in.
Over by Chad's house. Whatever that 95
Yeah,
east.
it's not a real high pressure area. Chad can tell you that.
Mine's low.
Yeah,
That's what I was
so
curious
their pressure,
to know how much
that pressure plane right there is coming off a 1,000,000-gallon tank, coming off the hospital, right there at the hospital. And it's not a big drop or anything right there.
My house seems fine, but
45, 50 pounds is good there. Most of the customers don't have to have a pressure regulator there. I recommend it just in case we ever do any upgrades and put out more pressure. But I don't think you'll have much over 55.
is there anything they could do? I guess put
Yes,
a
you
pump
can.
tank in
You
or
can
something?
do like what we did over at the. I'm calling it Dog Pound. We went in there and put in a whole house pressure booster, and it seems to work pretty good. She washes down the pins and everything's still working good. So you can order those, and you can put them. You can put them in your. But you can. They make some you can put in ground too. You just got to have a check valve that don't push it back into the water system. I do know there's some customers going north, depending on where they are, that have some. It's an option.
What's a normal 60 pounds? I mean, I hate to say normal, but standard. Or what you'd like it to
Call
have.
some people on School Hill. They are happy to have 30 and 40. Yeah.
Okay.
We do have some customers that's up there by the Jennings tank, that only have 30 pounds.
Personal matter, because another house in another city, they're having to put a valve in it to cut it down, like a regulator.
Yeah,
But in the water heater, because it's over 100 pounds, and it keeps blowing my.
Yeah. We've got customers, everybody over at Honey
Pressure
Hills.
regulator. I have to have pressure regulator.
If you don't have a pressure regulator, they got 160 pounds.
I guarantee you can't do it without pressure regulator.
Mine's like 130 up in my house, and I'm on a hill.
So we were just talking about Burnt Ridge. I've got that pump station set to get adequate pressure up on the hills. That pump station kicks off at 167. Out 16 East and over there in that area, they've got plenty of pressure. It just keeps building. They're on the same pressure plane as you are, but they're coming from the same tank. It's just dropping downhill. Yeah. For every foot you drop down or you go up, you get about a half a pound of pressure. So if you got 100-foot standpipe at the bottom of that, and if it's completely full at the bottom, you're gonna have 50 pounds.
There's not a test after this, is because I'm going to fail it.
And I promised you I'd be quiet. I wouldn't go, but these are questions. Question and answer set.
Yeah, okay. Anything?
Sorry, I got off.
Go ahead.
Oh,
if a customer wants to know,
I told him, I said, come talk to you, and he said.
And if a customer has a question, if they're new to town or whatever, they want to make sure their pressure regulator, it's an out. They can call the office, and we'll come out there, pull the meter, and we can actually test the pressure on our side. So
He's just trying to figure out how to get more pressure.
Got that 24-hour question, 253-8177, right?
I give my number out during the TV interview the other night, and they did not post it. Thank God. But it is a company phone. It's,
Sure. Well, you did a good job. You look beautiful on there. I'll tell you. You look like
Yeah, I
you know what
watched it
you're-
today. It was good.
I haven't seen it yet, so
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I don't like.
It's on Facebook.
They
Somebody
break
posted
it.
on
Yeah,
Facebook.
I don't have that either. They break it up and make you sound like you what
They
you
wouldn't
want
talk to Adam Brock. He was down there doing all the work.
Yeah, and that's the deal. They didn't even video that day. They had put that together from the
I
footage
thought
before.
that. I thought that,
That
yeah.
was the first outage.
Yeah.
So they
So
did.
Todd-
I will say I haven't seen it, like I said, but one of the guys actually had given the camera lady. He's bought a drone, and so when you seen the water plant and them flying over the lake, that was one of our operators' private drone, and he give the that footage to her, and they used it.
That was nice, yeah.
Y'all did a really good job, and you answered the question. It was a good interview, and
Yep.
it helped.
There's
Anything
a
else?
spokesperson for the city.
Yeah, but in the water world, you don't ever want to be on TV. It's not good.
That's not, no, they don't interview.
They don't come when things are coming
No,
going smooth.
no,
I'll just tell you.
It's not good on our end either.
No, I know it's not. I guarantee it.
Okay, anything else for Will? Thank you, my man. Brings us to zoning. I'll advertise for Tim. He slipped in there today doing some work, looked up some stuff after hours for me, and I appreciate that. I had a question on some signage I'm going to give to the fella. Also, we got a remodel. We're going to meet on the 17th, the zoning that's next Tuesday. And there's really nothing on the agenda. I think we'll just maybe discuss that Sedgefield, which we just did. That's actually we had one issue out there with the welding shop, and can he go deep into that subdivision, but it turns out to homeowner's covenant issue, I think, other than the zoning. But not a lot on that, but we'll meet the 17th right here at 6 o'clock, I think. That's all I have. We had nothing on the agenda, like I said, and everything's. I will be advertising in January for sure. Any questions for me? You're not going to get much, but appreciate it. Okay, it brings us down to unfinished business. There is none. The new business would be a resolution for our budget. We had a budget meeting, was it Tuesday night? Went through that. I'll just hit the high points on that. I gave everyone a informational issue. At the bottom line, our budget, it broke $5 million this year for projected revenue and expenditure, but that does include the $2 million for the fire department we still have out. That's coming along really well. Made a lot of money this year in interest because we had a big chunk in there. And appreciate Dina for doing that. That was a very substantial. We're able to do a lot of that building stuff because of that. You have more money, obviously you get more interest. Compound interest adds up pretty quick. And under the administration, the informational items, the big things, the wish list that we have coming up. We have an electrical project. They're going to present that in January. Something to decide on. We did was able to give a raise, and you can talk about your budget here in a minute for employees, less than 5%. I think it amounted to $1 raise. Looking at other issues that was brought up, Senior Citizen Center, the Historic Society. I'm going to talk about the museum under mayor's comments. Of course, we have the police remodel coming up. Definitely want to do that. And animal control issue with get an animal control officer. Under fire department is the new building, the parks. We have that TAP grant for the major thing and changing ball field number 4. We're going to try to do most all that in-house. I don't think that'll break the bank. Streets, asphalt will definitely add up, and then see how the auditorium road, that'd be the major things under street. Police, looked at maybe a couple of cars this year. Jay was wanting that. Of course, the remodel is the major one. That's the corner lot, the old library and the old Van Buren County Democrat office. Will, he can maybe touch on his things that got planned for the water department. And zoning, like I say, we're going to replace Tim and hopefully have somebody selected by the February meeting. Did leave Tim on as floodplain manager. For that, and give him contract labor on that, and we landed at about $400 a month. He's going to have a lot of issues. Maps are coming along real well. I always hesitate to say that. You've been told this and that many times, but that is really going forward better than it ever has. I didn't second Crunchy's numbers. I usually have each department how much we're planning to take in. The bottom line is $5,060,000 and 231 cents was our projected what we'll spend, and our expenses would be $5,040,000 and right at $700, difference of about $20,000. So it's a tight budget. Appreciate the work from Dina on the budget for sure. Did a great job on that. As always, just don't don't spend everything unless you buy what you have to have. And then we can select as a group throughout the year what we want to attack and move it from admin. Some of the things that I have looked into, I got the Van Buren, you have the budget for the Van Buren County Aging Program. I think we give them $3,000 a month, and we left that at the same. I also got you the Chambers budget, and it comes in around $33,000. And we usually put, what do we do on that usually? $3,500. We left that out. It did give that
Animal, not the animal.
When that comes from AMP.
A&P. We just left that out.
No, the senior center. You said we give them $3,000 a month.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't know where that at. I really hadn't got with Pam and sat down and went over, that. And if you have questions on what does this pay for and how many employees, I don't know. It's pretty extensive. It's the most extensive budget. You've asked for that for 10 years, I don't know, 6 years. So, well, I hadn't went through that. But that was our major things that we added or left out. Like I said, I gave you that wish list and what we had talked about. I think we'll be in good shape if you just don't try to spend everything because it's sitting in there. And then we'll have to decide, prioritize what we want to do and what we can do. But that's all I have on that, on just the overview of the budget. And you still have that, and I brought the hard copies to Tim. He's not here tonight. And I told him we were in pretty good shape. City of Clinton is in the black, and because we don't, you watch your spending really well. We do without for a while. There's a lot of things that need fixed, and we understand that, but pretty good at managing each department. I appreciate each department head for sure, and definitely the recorder treasurer. He puts this together. There's a lot more to that, and you ask for what percentage of this is that. It gets sticky because even on a pay raise, you have to revamp everything. But from the other night we came out, that was the one thing we came up with was budget for the just aging program. We left that in there, and we held off on that $3,500 for chamber until we can go through that and say, where does this go, what is that, and then we can make a decision on that. Move money out of the admin and the general fund anytime we need it, and we'll just decide our priorities as we go. So that was main thing on that. We have a resolution to approve that budget, and I'll entertain a motion in a second.
We also changed city council.
Oh,
on the
that's right. I
admin.
forgot that. City council, you guys actually got a raise too, because every time that, thank you, I forgot that. Everybody gets a raise, y'all never do. And I'll say this under mayor's comment, one thing. You guys do a really good job. You got 6 individuals that's very opinion. I mean, I don't ever have to guess where you're standing. Some of you even more than others, but that's a great thing. And you always you never think about that, but y'all put a lot of time and effort. So we're going to give you an extra 100 a month. I think that's 70-something hundred total. So for your check, so you definitely earned that. Probably more than that, but you filled a lot of. None of you had an opponent. And somebody brought that up, and I think that says a lot. Like being on a school board or cemetery board, a lot of times you get paid in cussings, and y'all probably get a lot of your income is in cussing. I talked to the city attorney, and we realized he's just not even worth what he's getting. He's overpaid, but no, he's staying the same. He was very gracious, and he's happy at his job. He's great at it, and all you guys are. But like I said, I won't get too sappy on that, but we did give the council a raise, much deserved, I guarantee, because you always get overlooked.
And on the city employees, did we do the same raise for them we did the water, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Same, and
It's a lot better that way.
I think it was, and it's everything's more expensive, I mean, all of our projections, water and sewer, you go to fix this, all materials are higher, fuel's higher, everything's higher, nothing's coming down. So
I had a few questions. I know I had to leave earlier during the budget meeting, and it's nothing major. I just wanted to make sure Dina or had questions. Like the insurance buildings and contents, is that projected for the new buildings that we're building and maybe purchasing, or do you need to have anything in there?
We don't know how much it'll be, so
There ain't no way to estimate. We just gonna, I mean, it's fine if
we'll
we
just change
just
it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's fine to amend it.
move around.
That'll be an expense.
And,
Dale and I already talked about that.
okay. And there was, the Municipal League Defense Program. I think I know that, but is that like a retainer or something? We have to pay so much every month or year, or?
Every city pays for their service. I don't know what.
I mean, it's like a service.
It's a risk management fund. So
Okay.
it's kind of like having insurance, but it's a risk management fund. I think it's kind of held like in a trust, and so your rate is determined just like a homeowner's insurance. It's kind of based on claims made.
I knew that, I remember in past that it kind of had to go up because of
Yeah,
problems.
if there's a lawsuit filed, if there's a lawsuit filed in the city and it qualifies for municipal league representation, you ask for municipal league representation. I don't know if it's gone up over the years because it's kind of one of these, knock on wood. It's been a little while since we've had to use them,
Yeah.
but it was $3,000 then. I don't know if it's more than that now. But when you utilize that,
I believe it went up to like
your rate's going to go up because the risk man, yeah.
It went up substantially there for a little while when we had the lawsuits.
I didn't know if it steadily comes back down or.
It'll go back down, yeah, when you don't have.
As long as we don't have to use it
Few
again.
years and it'll kind of settle.
It's not like your water bill. Superstar.
All right,
What else?
that's it.
I'm going to read this resolution and then get a motion second. Then any other thing we need to discuss on that, we will. This is a resolution providing for and adopting the budget for the city of Clinton, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for. Whereas the city of Clinton, whereas the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas has made a comprehensive study and review of the proposed budget, and whereas it is the opinion of the City Council that the schedules and exhibits of financial information prepared and reviewed revealing anticipated revenues and expenditures for the calendar year should be as accurate as possible for the budgetary purposes, now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of Clinton, Arkansas. Section 1. This resolution shall be known as the Budget Resolution for the City of Clinton, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, reflecting estimated revenue and expenditures as hereinafter set forth on the succeeding pages. All revenue herein are estimated and subject to change, and all appropriations are calculated upon available revenues. Section 2. The respective amounts of funds for each and every item of expenditure classification herein proposed in the budget for 2025 are hereby approved for the city of Clinton, Arkansas, and hereby authorized and appropriated for the purpose herein set forth for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2025, as attached in Exhibit A. Section 3. The mayor or his duly authorized representative may approve for payment out of the funds hereafter appropriated for that purpose, disapprove any bills, debts, or liabilities asserted as claims against the city. Whereas it is necessary for the efficient operation of municipal government that a budget be planned and adopted, now therefore this resolution being necessary for the preservation of public peace, health, and safety shall take effect and be enforced from and after the passage and approval. I'll entertain a motion in a second.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second, any other discussion on the budget? If not, I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch, Pistol, Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2024-13.
Okay, the next item of business is a resolution for Paleo Valley Tax Back Program. This is something that the county is wanting us to partner with. I think it's part of their Arkansas Economic Development Commission. It's a resolution. You want me to read this and you can explain it, or?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Yeah, I'll read this. This is a resolution. I'll entertain a motion second after I read it for it, and then we'll discuss it. It's a resolution declaring and certifying local government support and endorsement of Paleo Valley LLC to participate in the tax back program is authorized by the Arkansas Code 15-4 2706D of the Consolidated Incentive Act of 2003. Whereas in order to be considered for participation in the tax break program, the local government must endorse a business to participate in the tax back program. And whereas the local government must authorize the refund of local sales and use taxes as provided in the Consolidated Incentive Act of 2003. And whereas said endorsement must be made on specific form available from the Arkansas Economic Development Corporation. And whereas Paleo Valley LLC, located at 245 Quality Drive, Clinton, Arkansas, 72031, has sought to participate in the program, and more specifically has requested benefits accruing from construction of specific facility. And whereas Paleo Valley LLC has agreed to furnish the local government all necessary information for compliance. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, that Section 1 Paleo Valley LLC is hereby endorsed by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas for benefits from the sales and use tax refunds provided by the Arkansas Code annotated 15-4-2706D of the Consolidated Incentive Acts of 2003. Section 2, the Department of Finance and Administration is authorized to refund local sales and use taxes to Paleo Valley LLC. In Section 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately. I'll entertain a motion in a second to adopt that.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? And I'll turn that over to Chad.
Is there like a time limit on this, or is this for the whole indefinitely, or are the whole
What's the time limit? Oh, is it 20?
It's a program that they'll have to apply through the Economic Development Corporation, and it's kind of project specific. I haven't seen the details of whatever the project is, although I'm certain that it's whatever build out that they're doing for their construction, whatever refurbishment on the facility. So what it is anything they spend on the project, which is, again, I'm pretty sure it's refurbishment of the facility. Any expenditures they have, they get a refund of their sales tax. So where it applies to the city is if they purchase materials or whatever in the city of Clinton that's subject to the city's 1% sales tax, then they get a refund for that 1% sales tax. So I don't know how much that's really going to impact. Of course, the other argument with that purchases that might not be made if they didn't have the program, I guess. I don't know. Or they weren't here. But no, it's whatever purchases they're making in the city.
But it won't be forever. Like once the project's done.
It's just whatever that project is. Yeah. And
So,
I haven't seen the specifics of the scope of the project. They'll have to apply to get approved through the state.
But they're getting all of the sales tax, right? State and city.
State, city, county.
So in order for them to get save the 1% city and 2% or 1.5% county, they have to buy their materials here in Clinton, right?
To get the benefit from us, it'd have to be purchased in the city of Clinton.
So if they go to Conway, they're going to pay tax down there, right?
We're not rebating any tax that's collected for some other agency.
So I'm just liking the idea that they have to buy their materials here to get.
Yeah, it actually, they get they get to buy it tax free from us versus paying an extra 1% somewhere else. So
Well, and like on this sheet, it doesn't affect the state turnback.
No. I guess the only way it could conceivably is I guess state turnback is the formula somewhat applies to your sales tax revenue. So since conceivably your sales tax revenue might decrease because you've rebated a certain amount, there's no actual effect on turnback. They're not gonna change your turnback formula because of your participation in the program or anything like that. So the resolution it's required by statute that the city pass a resolution approving the program for them to move forward with the state. The county has to do the same thing.
Has the county done it already?
They did.
Glad they're here.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2024-14.
Thank you. Brings us down to public comment. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're gonna do the New Year's Eve, extending the hours?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I was gonna do that under something. Yeah, I want to get in the minutes of, on New Year's Eve, we're gonna allow anybody to celebrate within the city limits to go a little, I think usually our noise is 10 o'clock, but carry it on to 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't think anybody's gonna, just wanted to mention that and get that minute approval okay for that, if it's hogs and heifers or if it's makes
Oh, you're just talking about the noise ordinance?
I'm just talking, yeah,
When you tell me, I thought you were talking about the alcohol, and I was going to say, I don't think we had any kind of.
There's a festival permit time period, but as far as I know, no one's asked for a festival permit or a special event permit. So if you're already an establishment that's authorized under the Arkansas state laws, you just have to follow their laws. We don't have any specific time restriction on.
Yeah, we didn't add any.
On
your
service.
fireworks is already covered in what we have for that fireworks. Some people shoot them. I don't think anybody's going to be doing that on the court.
There'll be some people shooting shotguns off, or at least over here
Yeah.
in Honey Hills.
In Honey Hills.
They do it every year.
I think
Who are those people?
noise is the restriction, and there is some authority in the ordinance that might suggest the mayor could, on certain occasions, might authorize certain variances to noise. So I think that's what you're talking about bringing out is a limited variance on noise for New Year's Eve.
But people celebrate like they always do.
Yeah. I think potentially if someone has an outdoor music event that might leave their place and be heard in some residential areas, if they need to do that for some sort of reasonable period after midnight. That's what you're talking
I
about.
think it's 2 o'clock or whatever, but I don't think it'd go past 1.
What is it now? What is it? We got 10 o'clock?
Yeah, there's I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and the chief kind of talked about this. I mean, we had a noise ordinance basement, and a lot of public feedback kind of caused the noise ordinance to change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So your noise ordinance doesn't have a lot in it. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So what we're saying right now is that we're definitely going to say it's okay New Year's Eve for the mayor's discretion to allow some noise, some outside musical instruments and amplifiers beyond a certain time. I'm not saying that there's no restriction on use of amplifiers beyond a certain time, but I'm saying certainly for New Year's Eve we're going to say it's okay. And whether the council wants to address the noise ordinance again someday, that's up to y'all. So you remember we had a noise ordinance that was kind of like, here's what we're going to do. And then we took a lot out. And
Yeah, we ended up with just like, but there was a time, right?
10 p.m. or
10 p.m.
maybe we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We took a lot out, is all I'll say. A lot of public feedback, and we took a lot out. So
We discussed it so much I can't remember.
I know, and whether we want to talk about it again, I don't know. But yeah,
Celebrate, and I don't think anybody get too carried away. And we've had a lot to celebrate this year. So a lot of good
Does
things.
anybody ask anything like an entertainment district downtown again on the square maybe for New Year's?
I haven't heard any feedback. As far as I know, it went well, but I don't. They didn't ask about it for New Year's. Am I correct? No one's asked about it for New Year's, and yeah.
I was trying to get Cheap Trick to the Christmas parade, but they didn't take my call.
Outside of it, and you used to be walking around outside a bunch.
Yeah, I think.
They dropped the ball in New York. There's a lot of people there.
Well, we need to.
That's what we need to do.
We need to attach a. We need to attach
I
a
drop the
to
ball
something.
every day.
Maybe we could build a big.
We could be the New Year's capital of Arkansas.
That's right.
Yeah. Charles could probably drop the
Death Star.
Put lights on it.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna know it's a Death Star.
Somebody dropped the cord on one of the
Charles
trees.
B. Mack
Just
got all the
start
deer
rolling it down the hill on
goes
Fraser Street.
What's that?
Never
Just start
mind.
rolling it down Fraser
Put
Street
Death
and
Star
count
on
down.
his new-
Anything else on public comment from anybody.
Are you gonna vote or are you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or, I mean, we need a motion.
No, I was just gonna get in the minutes. We don't need a vote on that, do we, or no? I just wanna get that, but thank you. I do wanna say something on public comments about, the Van Buren County Historical Society. I got a call the other day, went up there to their meeting. That's the museum up there at the four-way by the Church of Christ, the old cheese plant or the VFW, or kind of the side of Orville Keelan's old house place, et cetera, et cetera. They have 5 people on their board, and the youngest one is Jim Wisnat, who's just a pup at 69. Then they have one is 79, and then the other 3 are over 80. Well, what we got to talking about that. They're looking for some help. They do a lot of great things. One thing is they put this out 4 times a year, just like old stories about how it was back in Clinton. Mm-hmm. I know some of us have some great stories that we could put in modern stories about taking your kids to a fly-in restaurant or something like that. It's a great story. You have to clean it up maybe. But bottom line, I could say a lot, and I don't want to just get too sappy and talk too long. It's very important, and they've dedicated a huge chunk of their life to that. Miss Barecki and Sally Parrish and all of them. And it's a good thing to remember the past. It's hard to get momentum, though, to do that. It's kind of like taking care of cemeteries. You go and look at it, and it's like, well, we're on the board. They're going the way of the dodo bird. We're pretty fortunate at Huey Hunter Hill, but get some young people involved in that, or anybody that's watching this council meeting. They need some people involved to help them out. Their budget is probably the tightest, best laid out budget of all time. Even I can understand it, and it's on one page, front and back, so they don't waste paper. They don't make a lot of money. They have volunteers that come up there. They're only open a few hours a day. They need people to just be involved in that in any capacity. You can call City Hall and ask for me. They need some help to keep that going, or they're going to have to shut it down. They're just getting too old to do it, and especially if you grew up here, if you moved off and come back, or anything you can do to help, or engage with ideas for them. Get it involved with the civics with high school or whatever. Make that part of their curriculum, the class. We're partnering with the college, so maybe make that part of some of their community service hour type stuff. Whatever you got ideas, give me a call 253-0160. This would be something invaluable. I know a lot of folks that I went to school with are moving back here and got a lot of stories to tell, and it's good to have a museum. Museums are going the way, but a lot of kids don't understand, their heritage. They don't understand the importance of government. They don't understand, Marge LeClaire is doing a good thing at the library. Know your government. The Historical Society talks about Clinton and Van Buren, not just Clinton, Van Buren County. There's a lot of people with some time on their hands that could help and volunteer, and you get paid nothing, but it's the labor of love. So consider that. I did tell them I wanted to mention that. I had a lot of things I wanted to say about it, but I just didn't want to go on and on and on. It's a very worthwhile program, and they need some young, energetic folks. And if you think you're too old, if you're 70, you're young with that bunch. So, but don't let your youth keep you out of it. If you're a teenager and want to get involved in it, it'd be a great thing. Any other thing on public comment? Mayor's comment, last meeting of the year. The parade, A&P, it was hokey, it was small town, it was simple, it was phenomenal. It was a great job. It's like Scare on the Square. When those folks come to town and get something that they don't have to pay for and bring their families there and even get to talk to old St. Nicholas, you got the live nativity folks going at that for 30 years probably. They get paid nothing for that, but that's a great message. And the message downtown was you help your fellow man. And kids had a blast. Nobody involved in that was disappointed in it. A lot of ways to improve it. We're going to talk about it in A&P. Jeff had a couple of, about 2 or 3 years ago, we need to have a parade again. That's going great. people like that. There's a lot of ways to improve on it. Anybody wants to help me hang lights. Somebody won a trophy, and they were extremely happy about that. There's a lot of ways to improve the parade, but the overall theme of it is helping your fellow man. It was great. It was extremely successful. When you have people driving up from Little Rock, 6 different boats and put a float in a parade in some little bitty do-nothing town, that says something about your hospitality and what people think about it. They had a great time. I want to thank them out, call them out, Jimmy Brown and his crew from Metro Bass, and everybody had a float in it. A lot of suggestions. Come to an A&P meeting, come to a city council meeting, call us, call your council members, a way we can improve on it. But that really made me happy. There's a lot of tough things going on in our communities, and folks have lost some loved ones recently, and that's, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And then just on a more personal note, to all you guys that I work for, I've got 6 great bosses. And I do like the fact that you think the way you think independently. You don't bounce everything, you'll let me know. I appreciate the department heads. I can't say enough great things about you guys. You're not doing it for the money, and I really believe that. I know that to be true. We live in a great little community, and you guys make me proud every day. It's an honor to work with y'all and for y'all, and I appreciate it. All you elected officials, most of you, just anybody that's elected says something, people put their confidence in you, and I appreciate that. And the department heads, toughest job there is. You get the call when something's wrong most of the time. But I thank you all, and all the way from the city attorney to department heads to the council, Dina, and Rita, you say, your department head, you've done a phenomenal job. Thank you all very much. That's kind of the last word I had. And it's been a great year. Let's just watch our spending. Let's decide what we want to do as a group and get out there and hump up and do it. And with that, I'll say thank you, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. I'll entertain a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?